Minnesota DFL Chairman Ken Martin is joining me from St. Paul. Ken, you put out a very critical statement. You remain critical of not just the three congressmen, but Congressman Hagedorn specifically about getting on that return flight from Washington, D.C. Tell people who did not see maybe your Twitter post what you wrote and then the response that you were getting.
Well, look, at a time when millions of Americans are sacrificing so much to slow the spread of COVID-19, we saw Congressman Emmer, Stauber, and Hagedorn could not even wait a few days after being exposed to Donald Trump and his COVID-19 to board an airplane. And, you know, the stupidity and disregard for the well-being of their fellow passengers is beyond staggering. It's really just unfortunate that they would risk the health and safety of fellow Minnesotans flying back from Washington, D.C. You know, we know that one negative test does not mean that you're in the clear, and they knew that, and they still decided to fly. It's just beyond stupid that these congressmen would risk the lives of their fellow passengers by taking this action.
All right, Ken, I spoke with Congressman Hagedorn this morning, who said, you know, I was given the all clear, Betsy, from my doctor. In response, Delta confirmed safety measures regarding the coronavirus and said that he and the two others had met the company's standards, or else customers would have been able to get off the flight. Now, in this case, Congressman Hagedorn says that the medical partners conducted additional screening measures, including assessing symptoms, distance, and time spent with someone who had tested positive. With that said, Ken, how much of this then looks like or is political?
Well, look, at the end of the day, if you read Delta's policy, it's very clear. If you've been exposed to someone within 14 days, you're not supposed to be flying on Delta. It wasn't even 2 days before that airplane ride that Congressman Hagedorn and Emmer and Stauber stood with Donald Trump in Duluth. And the reality is you're supposed to quarantine yourself when you've been exposed to someone who has been tested positive. You're not allowed to fly on an airplane when you have been exposed to someone. And again, it's just the height of irresponsibility. If, you know, Jim Hagedorn is asking Minnesotans in southern Minnesota to trust him and to reelect him to another term, then he has to show that he's actually going to be responsible as an elected official. Not only should you model good behavior, you should make sure that you're doing everything you can to protect the public. And by taking the actions he did not protect the public, and he certainly did not model good behavior.
Talk to me about this race, the 1st Congressional District. Some are saying that this is going to be the most watched race in the country when it comes to congressional races. This was so very tight 2 years ago. It looks like it's shaping up to be the same.
Yeah, 1,300 votes in 2018. It was one of the closest congressional races in the country. And I have no doubt that it will come down to the wire again. But one thing we know that's different from 2 years ago is that Jim Hagedorn did not have a record at that point. He hadn't served in Congress, and now he has. And unfortunately, that's a record that hasn't proven to actually work for the people of southern Minnesota.
And I spoke with a couple of political analysts about the ethical issues that have come up with Jim Hagedorn, and I've asked them, how much do these types of ethical claims hurt someone in a political race? And my political analysts are saying, not enough. People are not voting on the ethics of things.
Well, and that's unfortunate because they should be. I mean, we expect our elected officials to have good ethics and to not use tax dollars, taxpayer, hard-earned tax dollars, and being funneled into the pockets of his cronies and his staff. That's exactly what he did. Over 450,000 taxpayer dollars that were funneled into businesses that he had some relationship with. That is not only unethical, it's criminal. And he is under investigation right now because of that. And while people may not vote on that, they certainly should. We should expect better from our elected officials than what Jim Hagedorn's been doing in Washington to line the pockets of not only himself, but those close to him.
We will continue to watch as things unfold, not only out of Washington, but Minnesota politics as well. I love talking to you, Ken. Thank you so much for your time.